Hello,
All right.
hello everyone, and welcome to the show. We are back, and very sorry about these technical issues. So this
Yeah.
will be, I guess it will be last attempt.
All
And
right.
if
Hopefully this stays active, huh?
yes, if it doesn't work as it should, then we will wait till
Yeah, that sounds
6.
fine.
Till 6, yeah, and then we'll go back live on 6 because on 6 I should not have any issues afterwards.
Sounds good.
My apologies to you, Alejandro, and to our dear public
We
viewers.
try our best, right?
Yes, and by the way, I did not notice, but I have already passed 1,000 followers.
Oh,
Thank,
congratulations.
Thank
1,000
you.
followers.
Yes, on Twitch. Thank you very much for all those of you who have followed this last minutes when seeing Alejandro here. Been waiting. Probably you were the reason.
Actually, I should probably follow myself. There you
Oh, thank you, Little Peasant,
go.
for following. That's highly appreciated.
I should have probably done that sometime earlier.
No, it's okay. You are 1004 now, I guess.
Oh, there you go. 1,004. That's pretty good. That's
Yeah.
awesome, actually.
Yeah. So yeah, my question was why don't you consider streaming it one day? And you actually told me that you were not sure that that would last as long as it should last because you have in the normal days you have a lot of work, right?
Yeah, normally I do, but the summer's coming up, and in America we don't have summer semester. It's a kind of an optional semester for the students. And usually we take this time to play tournaments and go to different places.
Go to
And
Europe, for example,
we actually played as a
St.
not as
Louis
a
in
full
August.
team. Sorry.
St. Louis in August.
Yeah, we played something, and there's some tournaments here, but also like in Europe, we'll go and play some events. Like there are some Greek events, some tournaments in Spain that my students played last year. So there's a lot of chess that usually happens during the summer, especially because they're not in semester, right? Sometimes they want to be focused on school during the semester, and during the summer they play. But since there's no events right now, I'm not gonna have much to do. So maybe it will be the time to just, tempt me finally into having my own stream.
Yeah, you know, I've been watching you for a while commentating St. Louis, and I have to admit that I really enjoyed that. Yeah, I even tried to do some last wait, was it last Saturday? On Saturday, I had a match with Chiyu, and
Hmm.
Alex was commentating. Yeah, and tried to when I made that announcement of mine of you coming to the show. Yeah, I made them guessing for a while, and they couldn't find your name so easily. And I thought that there was first they guessed for Maurice, and then I said no, that was
Ah,
a copy, his copy, and they couldn't match it. And then they did
wow,
finally, yeah. And
terrible.
I
And I
wasn't
consider them my
sure.
friends.
I wasn't sure if I might have said it in the wrong way, and some of you would, like you or him, would take it as an insult. But Jennifer Shahade said that both of you would take it as a compliment, actually.
Yeah, actually, Maurice does a great job. He's such a great promoter of chess. And inside the St. Louis Chess Club, I do a little bit of everything. It's kind of like I'm the backup guy. So if Jen or Yasser or Maurice can't make it, I'm usually able to fill any of those roles. Whereas they're more stuck, like Yasser's always in the Yasser seat, Maurice is always in the Maurice seat. So it's nice to be able to get to do commentary from a lot of different perspectives, because even like Jennifer's position is very different than Yasser's position. When Jennifer's doing commentary, she has like something in her ear. The director's yelling at her about where to move the show along, or the commercial breaks coming up, or if there's a guest, or if there's something that we need to get to. Well, Yasser is just sitting there and telling stories, right? So nobody's interrupting him. So it's fun to like go to the different stations and see how internally it works so much different, even though it looks all the same to the audience. Definitely, I would say the hardest job is probably Jen's, because you want to look at chess, but you have to restrain yourself, let the other people talk about it, and your job is more to like move the show along. And I find that when I'm looking at chess, sometimes I get very passionate, and I just want to look at the position, and I'm kind of ignoring what the director is saying, and I'm not particularly doing a good job if I'm doing that.
Yeah, I see you're becoming chess player back again.
Yeah, you always have this passion and this love for the game, especially when there's something very interesting. Sometimes even at the top level GM tournaments, we'll have some really, incredibly boring rounds. But sometimes we have so much action that, it's difficult to even choose a game to follow. And I love chess and I love watching it. So I'm very happy that I have this job.
And when you try to compare those different kinds of jobs, if I may call it, like when you teach or when you do when you act as a second or when you commentate, what would be your favorite one? Which one would you say that you enjoy most?
I would say that they're all different, but there was nothing that could come close to the experience of being second for Fabi for the World Championship. I mean, that one was just so unique and it was very intense. I mean, I was gone so many months from home, and at some point, you even start getting homesick. I mean, we spent like a month in Spain
Okay.
just training before the event. And it's not like, oh, we actually went to a beach town. We went to Marbella, but we went to the beach maybe like, 3 times in a month because we were all always stuck inside actually doing analysis. We would wake up pretty, like a pretty regular time and go to bed at midnight. And it would be like chess, chess, chess all throughout. So it was really, really intense.
And how about
Um,
those 7 miles runs in the 7 a.m. as I read in Fabi's and Christian interviews of that preparing for the match and on
yeah,
the
at some point I did the math of what they claimed because it said like, oh, he runs this many miles and then he does like 4 hours of sports. And I was wondering
yes, and
if
tennis, yeah, tennis and basketball, and even and special diet here for the no sugar.
yeah, no, I mean, a lot of those were, it was greatly exaggerated. He definitely did good physical conditioning and he definitely worked out every day, but he wasn't doing like 4 hours of sports every day either. So there was a little bit of truth and a lot of it was blown out of proportion.
It was a very
Like,
nice
for example,
story.
this thing about the sugar, he just doesn't like sugar, like naturally as a person. He usually doesn't drink sodas or, eat ice creams.
It goes for
So
bacon and eggs, scrambled eggs and bacon in the morning. Yeah,
yeah. So
that's what I read.
it wasn't like super strict diet. Like we ate healthy and stuff, but it wasn't like oh my god, this we have like so many calories and it wasn't as strict as it made it sound. And we definitely did a lot of a lot more chess than sports, unlike what the article seems to imply. Because if we're doing 5 hours of sports, I don't think we have a lot of room for analysis that day.
For sure, but when you do like those basic runs, yeah, that sadly enough that wasn't the beach, the direction. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, we were able to go a couple times, and we had some friends visit us during our breaks, so we had some time to relax. But it was mostly very intense, and it just felt like we never had enough time. It's when you have such a strong project and you have so many things to look at, it just felt like this is infinite. This work, it will never stop.
Absolutely.
And but it stops in a month, right? Because at some point they actually start playing.
Yeah.
So it was a little overwhelming, but I had great chemistry with the people I was working with Christian, with Fabi, and with Rustam. So we had absolutely a great time, and for me it was very intense, but it was some of my favorite months as far as a productive job life.
Yeah. About that, yeah, job life. So I assume we should also pass some moment to the chess
Yeah, we
stuff.
probably should
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
at some point.
at some point. So yeah, I had I gave you an option of different different things that we could discuss today. Yes, I asked you for a if you were willing to show some of maybe one of your favorite games, or go with the current events. And yeah, we decided to start with one of the games we have seen, and then I received the donation of $50.
$50?
Wait,
Damn, girl, you
wait!
made
I've
some
just
bank.
received a donation for $50.
That's
Wow!
amazing.
Thank you very much. That's yeah, that's not something that you usually receive when your internet crashes.
Yeah, yeah, like a great stream. Internet crash, $50.
Yes.
Maybe they're saying here, have $50. You can buy yourself some internet.
By the way, I'm not sure that would be enough because I'm still on the boat, and the boat, yes, there's a money, but there is like some things that you cannot buy, which is an internet in the boat. Yeah, unfortunately. So let me see the person first. Uh, and we were about. What was the last thing you heard?
We were talking about we're gonna do some chess,
Yes,
finally.
talking about. Thank you for your subscription, dear G. That is 1999. That's highly appreciated. And let me read this one. Full screen. Okay,
Okay.
dear G 1999 has just donated $50. Thank you so much for your donation just after my internet got crashed. There is, I'm touched, really. I am. Yeah, I would never say that this.
Yeah, thanks for
Uh,
supporting the stream. I mean,
yes,
it means a lot to a lot of players, so thanks,
yeah.
definitely.
Maybe this is
Dear,
what
dear Chu.
came us back. So we decided to do some chess here
Mhm.
for the second half of the show, and we decided to go for the game of Magnus against Peter, which was a very interesting event so far. I mean, because yeah, I wanted to ask you about that incident. Have you heard about it?
The incident, the only one I remember recently between these guys is the other way around when Peter checkmated Magnus like 2 days ago. But you know what's interesting is that chess moves in a very strange manner. Because right now I feel like there's too much chess. I wake up in the morning and there's like the Steinitz Memorial, and then it's like afternoon, and there's the Chess Bra event with like Christian playing both tournaments. I don't even know how he does that. And then that finishes, and then Hikaru's streaming, and it's like chess is never ending. So right now, I don't have enough time to just look at all the major tournaments. Like normally, there's one major tournament going on, and I'll focus on doing that one. So I'll at least look at all the games. But nowadays, we live in a chess world where like Magnus plays Fiddler, and I've never seen this game that you're playing now.
Okay. Yeah, I have same stuff for me, but usually when I work on my chess, I do not have enough time to work to see the other things precisely happening in the world, because I know that I have some kind of a special repertoire that I need to work, and then all those
Mhm.
games that when they play different stuff, I know that if I go deep through them, they I will not probably use them in my next tournament, which is coming like in a week or two, and then it's always kind of a frustrating. You know that there's a lot of information, and you need to somehow find the way how to sort it and to make
Yeah,
a good profit of it.
it seems like motivation's pretty low for everybody, and it's kind of like trying to study for a test that's going to happen in 6 months. Like you don't start
Exactly,
studying for it.
exactly.
Yeah, you start studying like a week before, and it's kind of the same in the same scenario. I mean, you could, as a 25 or 2600 GM, you could look at some chess right now, but what for? You're not going to have any tournaments. You're not getting invited to the Steinitz Memorial or the Magnus Carlsen Invitational. So right now it's kind of like, what's the point? So right now I'm like watching chess as a fan, but I'm not really doing much work for myself. I'm not a super active chess player as it is, but I still try to keep a little bit sharp.
Yeah, and another thing is that when you ask, like when you talk to a professional, chess professional, and you ask him, okay, this is all this self-isolation during months, several months time. How do you find motivation? How do you keep motivating yourself for working? And then the right chess professional should answer that I just love chess, so it doesn't matter for me because I love studying it, and this is part of my life. So I can see nothing changed for me, and it's in a way it's true, because for chess player, what did change for chess players? We used to sit home from morning till midnight, and we continue doing so. Yeah, what's the
Yeah,
difference?
well, you could see it that way, but another way of seeing it is, chess players go from one challenge to another, and right now there isn't something like on the horizon that says, "Oh, this is my next opportunity to do something." Because tournaments are pretty intense, right? So you use this time that you're home usually to rest. And you look at your repertoire, you do some studying, but you're not as actively engaged in chess as when you are in a tournament. And I think right now for a lot of players, I mean, they're migrating to playing online and they're following chess online, but it's definitely not the same. So you can see it from both sides. You can stay home and it's a great time to study and brush up on your repertoire, but it's not a transition that everybody can make so easily. A lot of people, they like being in the tournament environment. They make progress when they're there, and they use their time at home for different things or just to catch up on life. Um, so it's going to affect everybody differently. There are players that will come out of this uh, quarantine sessions with their study sessions with like the best repertoire ever, and there
Yeah,
will be
they'll
players
just
that have
uh,
not looked at chess.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they'll just, some of those will drop 100 points and others will gain.
Yes,
What will be
yes,
your
I can't wait to
case?
donate all my rating when we're done with.
Okay, I have the same glass, by the way, if you consider ever. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. So what time is it over there, by the way?
My place.
Yeah,
6:30, almost 6:30.
6:30. So it's still quite early.
Yeah, it's true. So, yes, let me actually tell you what the story in very quickly behind
Hmm.
all this game, which I thought to show you. So basically, what happened is that Peter Svidal was teasing Magnus in and during his banter or during his commentary,
Hmm.
and Magnus reacted on that, um, making sure that he would actually play c3 in the first move, and then on e5 he would answer c4. He published that in his
Ah,
Twitter, and that's what he did actually
I
right
saw
after.
I saw something on Twitter, so I thought it was kind of a joke, but I didn't actually realize that he did it.
Yeah, the thing is that it first it was a joke, and then it was a reality.
Ah, that's pretty funny.
Yes. So the quote was, let me show it. I almost found it.
And this game like a banter blitz, or was this from the Memorial Tournament?
Okay. I think it was the background of Swidler's banter about
Okay.
Carlsen. Yeah. E4 c5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, h5.
Yeah, he played that
Uh,
in a real tournament. Well, not a real tournament, but like one of this online events that was like really strong. I think he played it
yes.
in the Magnus Carlsen Invitational against Ding, maybe.
Yes. So Peter made a banter about it, and Magnus reacted in his Twitter. My boy Sweetler better be ready for c3, e5, c4, knight f6, knight c3, bishop b4, h4 in the first round, and that's what happened. Krause
And that's what
stuck to his
happened. Huh?
plan, and Sweetle played along.
That's actually pretty funny.
Uh,
I have to
that,
say that if
that,
you get this position with black,
yes.
you kind of don't say no. And I know, I know Svidler is like pretty set on some ideas, and he thinks this position can't be worse than the initial position for black. So I mean, it makes sense that he took up the gauntlet, but it's still funny, and it makes you wonder how serious this kind of events are, right? Because I
Exactly,
can't
exactly.
imagine Carlsen ever doing this in a real event.
Well, he did do something like h5 in the first move when he was playing World Blitz Championship in St. Petersburg 2018, and he started 2 zeros out of 0 out of 2. I mean,
Yeah, you do get
yeah,
punished.
yes,
Uh,
yes, that's true.
but this is it makes a little bit of a flair on chess, and I like that people are doing things that are interesting. Yeah, so I mean, it's different chess, but if you compare it to real chess, right, it has like a different flavor to it. I don't mind it. I just think it's different.
Okay, so that's what happened in the game. So yeah, we shall probably have a look at this game. And yeah, do you have a? Can you move the pieces properly?
Let me give it a try. I'm gonna
Yeah.
try castling. Did that move anything?
No, that didn't. So I need to
Okay, so you're
give
in
you.
control. I don't think I can move anything.
Yeah, I thought I could.
Actually, I don't know if I'm in the right spot.
Pass
I
pass
think you need
ownership.
to
Now you
invite me again.
can. Oh, I need to invite you again.
I think so. I think I'm in the wrong section.
Okay, let me invite you. Little peasant. I was wondering what that would mean. I mean, you have on every account of yours, you're a little peasant. So, is there any story behind this?
That's a small story. Actually, I made this randomly when I was 9 years old. There was this Renaissance fair at my school, back when I did go to school. So
Okay.
you got to dress up, as a medieval person or Renaissance. And I went dressed up as a peasant, and I was quite small for my age, so everybody called me Little Peasant throughout the day. And it was the same day I made my first ICC account, back when ICC was coming out. So
Oh,
I became Little Peasant there, and it just stuck. So I've had
okay.
this account since I was like 9 years old.
Wow. 9 years old.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And then you
Right.
got the same for your social media.
Yeah, it stuck.
Yeah, I get the thing. Okay, let
Yeah, I
me
actually have a different username for my video game accounts, but I keep those separate of
for your
video game stuff for
video
chess.
for your video game. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. All right, so I will just upload this and then invite you back again.
Okay.
Yeah, by the way, those of you who are watching us on live, if you have any questions to Alejandro, please go ahead. That would be very much appreciated. We will not probably answer all of them, but we'll pick some or best ones to provide you with an answers. Okay, so now I invite you.
Did you?
I am inviting you.
Oh, okay. No.
Um. Okay. Did you get an invitation?
I got it.
Okay, so now I pass you to ownership.
Okay.
Yay! You have an ownership. Do you have?
So this works. Yes, I think so.
Yes. Yes. Perfect. Perfect. It works.
All right.
Oh. Okay.
So let me see how this actually worked. So
Yeah.
this was a blitz game, right?
This was the first round of Stannis Memorial.
Okay, so Steinitz, I think, was blitz, right? I mean, everything's
Yes.
merging together, even though it finished yesterday.
It was Blitz. Yeah. It was.
Yeah. Okay.
Was it? Wait. I have it over here.
Okay.
3+2. For me, for women, it was Blitz.
Yeah, I don't think they changed the format. I think it was 3+2.
Yeah.
Okay. So what did happen in this game? H4. It's funny because this actually reminds me of an incident. Um, I remember when Kasparov actually lost to Peter Svidler in the C3 Sicilian, and they did an interview to Kasparov, and he said, "Look, you can't be prepared for all these random things in chess, like C3 in the Sicilian." And to think that back then you would think C3 in the Sicilian is so random, and now the world champion is playing H4 in this in this completely random type of position. Yeah, this move cannot be good, but I guess it's not that bad. Uh, Man, if he actually played this in the World Championship, I don't know what I would have thought. Like, do I actually have to prepare H4?
But I mean,
But I
even
guess
first,
I guess that was never gonna happen.
wouldn't you first react when you see one c3 and two c4?
When I see somebody play C3 and C4, it's kind of a meme, right? I expect there's a backstory because nobody does this from the blue. So
Yeah.
I assume that there was something going on. But even if I didn't know the story, I would kind of guess that there was something happening. When you see H4, you kind of go back to the Dingley Ren game. But it's still funny that it happens again. And he's the type of player that, okay, he puts the challenge out there and he will go for it. So I'm actually curious how the game progressed. I mean, Peter Castle, that makes sense. E3, C6, and G4. The thing about this kind of stupid looking moves on the flanks is that if you react slowly, they're actually not so stupid. Like even giving white the ability to play G4 for free seems a bit unnecessary. I'm actually wondering if the move C6 is good at all.
It's a kind of a reti plan, normal reti plan to play h4 and g4, no?
Yeah, there's plenty of ideas in especially modern openings where you just kind of push your pawns forward on the king side when your opponent has already castled, and the center is still not defined because the usual theory of chess is that if you can blow up the center, then your flank attacks will never work.
Right.
But since white only has a pawn on c3 and a pawn on a pawn on c4 and a pawn on e3, it's kind of hard to believe that this will just suddenly open and the e file will be torn apart and the king on e1 will be very weak. So, you play c6, g4, and black has to answer some actual questions in this position because the only move is d5, otherwise your position doesn't make sense. And now after g5, now you actually have a choice. Knight e4 doesn't look like it's a strategically desirable move, but if you play knight e8, you're just kind of going backwards. And now at that point, I think black setup didn't make too much sense. And I see that Peter chose knight e8, but I'm looking at the variation that's on the score sheet, and I think, okay, takes, bishop g2, f5, takes. You feel that you feel like you have enough as black here, but in a blitz game, it's not something that I would guarantee that I'm not just dropping my pawns in a couple of moves. I guess
Sure.
it is kind of highly
Feels kind of
difficult to defend
dangerous.
this.
Yeah. Feels a little bit dangerous, and especially I think in blitz games the most important is that to keep playing active and aggressive and attack. It's highly very difficult actually to defend, and where you have 3 minutes on the clock or 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think that is a little bit overstated that the initiative is so important. Actually, what I found that is more accurate is that it's important to have a concrete plan, and then it doesn't really matter if you're defending or attacking. Even if you have the initiative but nothing's concrete, it sometimes can be very difficult to play. Like for example, if I play like the move queen e2, right, in this
Yes, the
position,
most natural
it
one.
yeah, like, and I'm not saying like theoretically is this better for black or is this better for white, but I can imagine that white already knows that if black doesn't defend the pawn, I'll take it, and my strategy will be to just take this pawn and make sure the tactics don't work. So yeah, I would be a little uncomfortable here defending for white, but on the other hand, I have an idea. I mean, your pawns are weak and I'll attack them, and I have to finish my development, so I'll probably play like a3, b4, and bishop b2. So I have ideas already in my mind when I see this position that are kind of obvious. Whereas there's a lot of positions where you just don't have a plan, and those I think are much more uncomfortable to play over in the blitz game, where you have let's say a fine looking position, but you don't know what your next move is.
Right.
So okay, so he plays knight e8, right?
Yeah.
98, a3, and bishop e7. See, it just feels like we make a move like bishop e7, and then why would white be worse? It's just a weird position. But black's gone back a lot, and I'm able as white to just, take on d5, which I assume happened, and go d4.
And as you say, one has a clear plan.
Yeah, you expanded on the king side, and it seems like black has a pretty decent position. But if I got this position after I played h4 on move 3 or 4, depending how you want to look at it, I wouldn't be so unhappy.
Right.
So, okay, so he takes. Now, it would be nice to take with the queen, but okay, I have made like 6 pawn moves, so I can't actually do that. I have to keep the center closed. But yeah, you get the symmetrical pawn structure. And as white, yeah, it's very risky to move these pawns forward because where is this king going to castle? But when you think about it, okay, this knight needs to go somewhere, so it needs to spend some more tempi because this rook wants to go to e8, so it'll have to reroute to d6. When it goes here, this pawn is not going to be defended on d5. So, I would be kind of satisfied here as white to just get an interesting game, again, without saying the objective evaluation of the position, which is probably better for black. But it's a blitz game, you're not going to figure out all the good moves. You don't know if you'd rather play f6 or if you'd rather put the knight on d6. You don't know if you start with this knight, if you want to put this bishop cementing the pawn, or you want to be more active. There's so many decisions that go into this position that are unclear, that you're not really worried that your opponent will find the 100% most active and accurate way to punish your position.
Absolutely. The common mistake that I do is that when I play blitz is that I try to think deep, and it's then I lose on time. But it's like even very simple decision like you develop the bishop or the knight. I don't know why, but I keep like trying to understand which one is better, and then I just run out of the time. So what I've heard is that you should just do attacking moves, or like moves that have at least two ideas in one.
I think when you're playing blitz, especially when you have some such decisions like f6 or knight c6, let's say like those are your positions. Let's say it's those are the choices, right? Of course, there's
Yes.
others.
Yeah.
And you don't have like a clear definition of which one's better. Let's just say that that's the example, right? I'm not saying that in this position one is better than the other. You just gotta go with your first gut, because there will be no time in blitz to actually figure out if one is better than the other, and you just kind of make one of them quickly. You go with your
Randomly.
instinct,
Yeah.
and you kind of figure it out. Like, for example, knight c6, bishop g2, and now, I mean, does he want to go something like bishop e6, or does he want to go and sacrifice this pawn to sacrifice this pawn to get the knight to f5 and a counter at d4? Or does he want to play super solid like he did in the game and play knight c7 and defend the pawn? There's decisions. I think that if you play classical chess, it will be possible to analyze it until you're sure that, knight d6 was just better than knight c7, just to give an example. But in blitz, you just kind of play the first one that looks good to you, because you're not going to figure out in blitz if one is actually stronger than the other, and you're going to need that time to calculate later.
Yeah. Sure.
So yeah, I mean, probably knight d6, knight takes d5, knight f5. I mean, it's not terribly intuitive to give up the bishop, but then you kind of realize, okay, this king is quite weak. The knight is very well posted because you can't ever castle with the pawn on h4. This pawn is kind of dead. And traditionally, with the king on e1, you would think that you'd rather trade the d-pawns and blow up in the position, even if you lose a bishop. So, this makes sense, and you can justify it in a classical game. Like, obviously, knight d6, knight f5 looks so strong. But, in a blitz game, Magnus attacks your pawn and you defend it. That's how chess works. So I'm not very surprised to see like such a solid move like knight c7. On the other hand, now white gets pretty much everything he wants from the position, because you go knight g2. This is probably just wasted tempo, because now knight g3 comes with a tempo. I guess it's preventing knight f4, so maybe it's not such a big deal. Bishop e6 and castle. Yeah, and okay. I would be very happy here with white. I have an expansion on the king side, which is probably weak, but it gives me a clear plan. If I ever get f4, f5 in, then this is going to be really bad for black. So blacks always have to be wary that you can actually meet f4 with f6 or with f5. And if it tactically doesn't work, then you're in big trouble. Like, for example, if I put a rook on e1 and attack this bishop, then maybe f4, f5 is going to be kind of unpleasant. You know, I'm imagining this queen goes to d3. Whereas if I look at black's position, in a blitz game, just because it is a blitz game, you have to look at it from this perspective. It might be kind of annoying to not play f6 soon, because I need a clear plan. I don't think bringing the pieces out is enough.
Yeah, and
But
f6
actually,
looks like the only plan, the only active plan.
right, and that's what I think you're looking for. You know, this consistent ideas. Okay, queen d7 was played, but okay, it probably does look like f6 was very logical at this precise spot. But even here, you know, you play f4, and I'm not terribly sure what I gained, because if you take with the f pawn, now it gives white too many options. Even taking with the h pawn back looks kind of risky for black. You have to be worried about f5 all the time. You could close down, but now your bishops look really stupid.
No, this is completely disgusting.
I would be disgusted to play a move like this.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to, and this is again the kind of moves that if you analyze this in classical chess, you're like, okay, can the knight actually reach e5? Can maybe my knight will reach e4 first? And you start counting the tempi, and you can kind of make it work. But it's kind of gross, and in blitz you really don't want to play these kind of things. So then you play f6, f4, and you kind of think, okay, what's my next move? I don't want to play f5, but what will I do? And you decide, okay, f6 didn't gain me anything. Let's just play queen d7, move my rooks first in, and then figure out what to do. So again, you can see that both players are playing relatively logical chess after, you know, h4, g4 was played. And
after the first two.
After that, you can kind of see that the game makes sense. So far, it looks like something interesting, but they go back to playing like normal chess players.
Surprisingly enough.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be so shocked about this position being in grandmaster play. I'll be shocked more about the first position, you know, c3, c4, h4.
Absolutely right.
All right, bishop f4, rook d8, rook e1, rook fe8, queen d3. Yeah, it just feels like white's a bit better. You know, pieces are better placed, and tactically you kind of have to be worried about black sometimes taking on c7 will win a pawn. White has more space, so like rook e2, rook e1, you can play this in a bullet game. And Peter decides that he needs to release some pressure, so plays bishop d6. And then Magnus plays a blitz move. For example, in a classical game, you want to probably not trade the bishops immediately. You want to make maximum game. So you want to defend this bishop on f4. And I think in a normal game, you kind of feel that knight g2 makes a lot of sense here. You bring the queen to g3 maybe, and the knight is defending d4, and it's, you know, defending the bishop, and it's rerouting to just a more useful square.
Yeah.
But Magnus plays it with knight h5, which does kind of the same thing. But in blitz, you're kind of looking at, aha, check.
What
boom,
is he
check,
threatening?
and then somehow there's mate. And
knight g7, by the way, as well.
But, you know, in blitz, maybe, you know, you don't know if it works. It scares your opponent, and sometimes the resource will be there.
Yeah, you lose the extra time, extra seconds that you could just have spent for something more useful.
Yeah, exactly. And it puts this pressure on your opponent, even if it's not actually a good move. So, like, what actually happened? Bishop g4? Yeah, and this is probably why it's not a good move. This knight on h5 actually just gets... I mean, knight f6 clearly does not work. So you probably lose your momentum here a little bit. Takes, queen g3. Takes. Yeah, none of this was actually forced if you play knight g2, I guess.
Yes, absolutely.
And then takes, and takes.
And here we go. Yet another similar pawn structure and then.
But again, it's kind of those positions where it's much easier to play for white if nothing changes dramatically. And again, maybe this is just equal, but when you think about it, I know my next two moves. My next two moves as white, if I don't get mated, is rook c1, rook c7, because I can just win all your pawns on the 7th rank. And Currently, b7 might be hanging. I'm not entirely sure. I think there's a rook b8. But where's Black's ideas? Black's idea is, first of all, you don't get checkmated on the back rank. That's already annoying because if I play g6, I have to watch out for knight e4
And knight f6.
and knight f6. Yeah. So, and I can't really move my f pawn. If I move my h pawn, I'm weakening my structures. I have to be careful of that. Not to mention that I have to be worried about g6. So again, it's a position where, Black probably shouldn't be that much worse. It's equal material, similar pawn structure. My rook on e8 is active already, but it feels like White keeps pressure, and
Absolutely.
it forces Viller to defend, even what might be an equal position. So all right, there's some line here that's being considered. Viller played King f8, which is probably the much more logical way to not get mated on the back rank. But there was the possibility of Bishop f3, like tactically defending this. And after takes, King f1, takes Rook d1, and this is what I was kind of talking about. But maybe there's really not that much here, huh, for White. I mean, I could even consider going passive and defending the rook with rook on b8 and just holding on to the structure. It's hard to say.
Looks
This position,
very looks not natural, but yeah, maybe holding.
yeah, it's not the kind of moves you want to play in Blitz, right? As you were saying, initiative, ideas, attack, and all this kind of stuff. And here you're up a pawn, but you're a little bit stuck. I mean, this rook on a8, it's not really going anywhere. I'll play b4 at some point, and that is an outside pass pawn at some point, and this knight will jump in. This pawn's not going anywhere. I mean, yeah, I think in a classical game, Black most of the time goes for this. But in a Blitz game, you kind of feel, if I lose the a7 pawn, I just lose the game. And it might just drop, right? And White is so active. So it's not easy to make those moves. Instead, it's easy to make a move like King f8. It brings the king closer. I always have Rook e7 if I need it. I'm not getting mated. I'm moving out of the pin. Even though it might not be so accurate.
Yes,
so now Bishop takes, Rook b8. You have to get the pawn back, and Rook c1. And this is kind of what I was talking about. Now White's position is just more pleasant, right? Rook c7 is an actual threat. And Black's king is in a bit more danger than White's. White has so much space that none of the checks should really bother me. Okay, again, probably
you have a
equal,
better
but...
bishop as well and all.
Sorry?
You have a better bishop as well and all.
Yeah, you have a better bishop, just controls more things. All right, Rook c... I missed a move. Rook b3. Rook c4. Yeah, and then the typical thing, right? You're threatening checkmate, and maybe your opponent will miss it.
Yeah.
But these knights are so tricky, and I've noticed that this even applies at the super GM level. When you're really short on time, these knights are really annoying.
Yeah, I've actually heard that f5, c5, and f4, c4 are the best squares for the knight.
Yeah, maybe they are just because they threaten a ton of stuff.
I don't know, they control like everything.
Yeah, and I was noticing that this knight maneuvers are really hard to calculate. There was a game yesterday between Jeffrey and Magnus, Jeffrey Shang.
Okay.
And there was this really pretty knight move where like the knight, basically a knight from like f3 went to d4 and it attacked c2, and somehow e6 was also hanging because there was a pin. And neither of the players saw it because they were in such deep time trouble. I've noticed that these knight jumps are tricky. It doesn't matter who you are.
You see, it goes to the same thing that when you are attacking in Blitz, it's the good tactics. When you play aggressive and active.
Yeah. Yeah, when you play with this idea of the initiative, then it's much more easy to play. And normally you're a little bit worried about this configuration, but with the pawns already all the way here, the king's always going to escape.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're not really worried as White. King e8 was played. And yeah, this is the kind of thing. Yeah, there's some kind of note here that says that Bishop b7 was the best move. Nobody plays Bishop b7 here. You're worried that somehow this bishop will get attacked, that you have to move it, and then you get mated. And you look like an idiot. But I mean, in a classical game, you probably sit down and figure out that, you actually need to defend the c8 square.
Yeah.
And that Rook c7 is actually not so dangerous because, I don't know, I probably have something like Rook b6 that just about cuts the knight. But these are such passive moves that they don't come to mind very easily.
Still, you have this kind of a rook on the 7th rank. It feels pretty uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable, and you probably in a classical game can figure out that your next move will kick out the knight, and then you can play f6, and you get all the moves that you wanted in. But I think it's very difficult to play in blitz. So he plays king e8, which makes sense again because okay, the king now will not get mated. You might lose all your pawns, but you will not get mated. Um, Rook c7 is played before taking on g7. That makes sense. Bishop d5, and yeah, this is a painful pawn to lose. Not only because you lose a pawn, which already sucks, but it's because you lose control over a lot of jumps, and this is just such an annoying idea. Normally, you want to keep this knight as controlled as possible in a blitz game, but without the g7 pawn, just this knight will do whatever it wants. So I'm kind of curious on how Svidler held this. Actually, this is a really nice maneuver, putting the rook on a5. Maybe it's not the strongest, but it looked really, really nice. Knight f5 apparently was very strong. Yeah, but you know, again, in a blitz game, you kind of instantly put the rook on a5 because it defends the pawn and attacks this one, and then you think later.
Again,
because
this
you can always play
when
knight f5 later, right?
Yes, and again, this principle when you do a move which which contains two ideas at the same time.
Yeah, it's so tempting, right? Like, you know, people think that chess players are so attracted and so tempted by things like forks and pins, but those are like so like obvious, you know, like you don't get any actual satisfaction or temptation from that. It's just a good thing to do.
Right.
But you really get tempted by moves that do two things at once. Those are like the super tempting moves, like, oh my god, I'm defending my pawn and I'm attacking the other one. That's great. You know,
no,
like,
it is.
I'm telling
you. I'm telling you. I've been told that it's a right strategy to play blitz. It's that what you should do it. That is what works actually.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense actually. I mean, when you think about it, these are the hardest moves in chess. I mean, there's all these ideas of prophylactic thinking, right? You make your opponent uncomfortable by making a move that prevents his ideas. And this move not only prevents his ideas, but also advances your own ideas. I mean, it doesn't get better than that in chess. It's just like the best move you can possibly make. So yeah, of course, this becomes incredibly tempting. And you will very easily miss a move like knight f5. Like, why would you give up this pawn? And then you can kind of realize, okay, actually I have a lot of jumps and f7 is probably very important. But you look at this from a normal chess player, like 2-second intuition is that I would never give up my a pawn, let this be passed when there's a bishop against the knight. The knights are so bad, actually
running from one
a-pawns.
side from to another. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like I would never do this. So rook a5 makes a lot of sense. Rook h3, but then okay, you realize you have some tactical problems because you're actually getting mated. Again, this concept of two things at the same time, right?
Yes, here we go
and
again.
Then here in 2 seconds flat, I would play knight f5, and then realize I got mated on h1. King f1, rook takes h4. This makes sense. And rook takes a7, which with a double question mark. And this is such an unusual pattern because when you're attacking as white in this kind of positions, you just assume you don't get mated because your king is completely out in the open, right?
And because it's an
opening,
opening,
move the f pawn, and you will never mate me. And it's such an illusion, right? Because like apparently bishop f3 actually wins.
Wow.
And this is amazing, huh? That this actually cannot be helped. The knight is specifically in a spot where it cannot check. The rook is controlled by this bishop. And the only move, which is king e1, because otherwise you get mated on h1, is just rook d4 and you get mated on d1.
It's just like when you play king rook and the bishop against rook. You have the same ideas.
But it's funny how bad this pawn on f2 is because it's so hard to actually mate with rook and bishop. And it's like it only works in this configuration. But it's amazing that this actually was missed by both players. But again, it feels like one side is attacking and the other one side is defending. And you don't want to put your bishop on f3 because after you take on f7, the bishop is hanging. So, these are the thoughts that you do in like 1 second thought without realizing that you're actually threatening checkmate and it's unstoppable. And so you immediately move something else. And I guess you play king c7. Yeah, that makes sense. You defend the bishop, but kind of shuts the rook out. So yeah, obviously it's a blunder, but you can kind of get what they were thinking in this position. So king c7, rook a5, and I guess this misses bishop f3 again, which is pretty fun. And h6. Okay, so Svidler's trying to make a draw. He's not trying to win. And this happens a lot, right? You're down a pawn against the world champion. You don't expect him to give you a mate in two.
And actually, from a psychological point of view, I assume that Peter would be pretty happy winning this game after all this story that goes before.
Yeah, he got his revenge in the next one, but yeah.
I think it was a more like a question of principle as well. It would have been a question of principle.
I think all these questions of principle, we got them in the openings, but how often does this happen that your opponent plays a stupid opening and you're like, I must refute this, right? I must refute this.
Yes, every time.
But okay, 20 moves later, it doesn't look like anything compared to the opening, and things happen, people made mistakes, and now you're not really in that mindset. Now you're like, okay, I'm playing this position and we just play on. But you don't really carry that idea that, okay, something stupid happened in the opening and I must punish it. So at this point, I think, especially in time pressures, Villar's just like, I'm down a pawn, I must make a draw somehow.
Right.
And simplifying the position makes a lot of sense. So h6 is obviously like a great move if you're just trying to draw, because you're trying to get as many pawns off the board as possible.
Because you're playing with a pawn down, yeah.
So what happened? He took rook f5. Yeah, this is a problem, but I still have to check.
Unfortunately, no bishop f3 anymore.
Yeah, it does finally cover it. It actually also covers, the knight's covering d6. So you can't actually checkmate me in any way. All right, king e1, rook h3, and I guess this is the best defense. I was wondering if you could go bishop c4.
Rook c5, rook
c6. c5 actually wins.
Rook c6.
I mean, I wasn't really sure about this endgame, because this pawn it's not the most threatening pawn, but the king will defend it and the knight will jump. I have a feeling it's a draw, but maybe Peter didn't want to get into this, and he felt that rook h3 was just cleaner because he wins the pawn immediately, and that's why he's stronger than me. Yeah, this makes sense. The only problem is that after check, you have to move the king to the b file. This part I did not like, because okay, you don't want to go to the 8th rank. Just on principle, you never want to put your king on the 8th rank, even if it's the best move.
Absolutely.
You don't want to go to d6 because there's a check on f5 and you're not really sure you can hold everything.
You don't really remember where your rook is. Yeah.
Also a problem.
Tiny one.
Yeah. So yeah, not the most pleasant decision. Like, I would never want to put the king here, but it's maybe the best move. f3. This probably just draws immediately, right? Bishop b7. And I don't see how this knight gets back on time. Like, if I play bishop b7 here, can I take this? Not this way, actually. Take it this way. It's cleaner. I don't have to calculate as much. And this knight cannot reach this pawn. That's what I was taught.
No, yeah.
Just the draw. Yeah, but okay, he misses that in time pressure, I'm sure. This is probably not really worth of exhaustive analysis, and this should be a draw. Night jumps are tricky for everybody. Yeah. Yeah, king b4. I'm actually surprised Magnus missed knight c2 check. But okay, time pressure happens to everybody.
The good thing, wait, just to show for the audience. The good thing is that these monsters, they are humans, actually. That's what you kind of think about when you see this stuff. I'm not sure, yeah.
It's like, it's like when I play this tournaments like Title Tuesday or stuff.
Yeah.
I make such stupid mistakes, and I'm like I'll lose a rook endgame up a pawn. And I'm like, how could I possibly lose it? Like, I'm up a pawn. How did I lose this endgame?
Probably you've played too much bullets previously.
Well, it happens, but then I realized it happens to everybody, because I played some other Title Tuesday and I played MVL. And I'm down a pawn and I'm just worse. Like, I must be a losing endgame. And I actually won it. And I'm thinking, look, if it happens to MVL, it can happen to anybody. So I'm not shocked that these things happen at the top level of chess, especially when they play so much. They've been playing so much lately, these top players.
Yeah, and they also they play on every website. Like they see you see them on Magnus Invitational at in the afternoon. Then you see them playing titledusage.com in the evening, and then in the midnight you see them reaching 2300 on Chess and Bullet.
Yeah, I mean, that's very addicting. This bullet chess is incredibly addicting. I have to control myself sometimes to say,
Yeah.
no, Alejandro, this should not be the first thing you do in the morning. Because if I do that first thing in the morning, like I open Chess or chess.com or something, sometimes I'll wake up kind of late, and then I
Like
realize
a
it's like
typical
3
chess
p.m. and
player.
I haven't showered, I haven't worked out, I haven't done anything productive. It's 3 p.m. and I've played like 200 bullet games.
Oh my god!
And
But this
it
is
was
I
just
don't know. I really
not.
I'm so much. I don't know. It's my subjective point of view, but this stuff is so much. I don't know, devastating, destroying. I don't know,
Yeah, for sure.
ruining
I mean,
everything you have worked out. So I don't know for years, for decades, for some.
yeah. And I mean, you think about like 4 hours of your day is so much, but if you play bullet, it passes so quickly.
Yeah. But was actually my next question. Like you are also a very experienced coach. Like when you train someone, don't you like you should give him some advices or her some advices. I mean,
Hmm.
and when it comes to bullet, what is your advice? Like how you just say, okay, we don't discuss this topic. You do what you want, or I don't know. Like if your
I
student
mean,
asks you, can I play some bullets? What is your answer? Sure, go ahead, train your openings, or train your mouse, or train your fingers. I don't know.
I mean, first of all, if somebody wants to play bullet, they'll play bullet. Is it good for your chess? Yeah, that's probably a different question. Now, how do you train for bullet? Actually, there is, if you really want to do something to improve your bullet, there is something you can do. And it's just reaction skills and mouse skills. There's a lot of little mini games
No, actually, my question
on.
was, I like because now you're trying to promote bullet, and my point was to do the completely the opposite stuff. So
I mean, I don't think it's that bad. Uh, it's not, it's not chess, but it's fun. So, I mean, I'm not going to tell people not to do something that's fun.
all right, all
And
right.
and if you want to train bullet, it is possible to improve in some things. Like it is possible to get better just at bullet, and you'll be wondering what the hell is the point of that. But people have done stranger things in their life, so I mean, I don't mind if somebody becomes a bullet expert. I mean, it's not chess; it's something else. But
It's an addiction.
yeah, it's an addiction. If
It's
they
a
want to use their free
gaming,
time on that,
gaming as
look,
well.
yeah, everything nowadays can become an addiction if it's competitive and it's like organized and it has a rating. That's kind of enough. I'm not going to tell
Esports.
people, not to do it, but is it good for you? Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. I was thinking about Ali Reza. He's been playing so much, and like if we consider him as one of those who could challenge Magnus like in 5 or 10 years.
Alirez is kind of an interesting personality in chess right now because he's so young. I mean, he's just so young. And he's so good and he's playing all these tournaments. But you kind of feel that he's playing all these tournaments because of the format, right? Like he's a great bullet player. He's obviously great online. His mind is super sharp. Um, and I think that he is already one of the top players in the world in this format. Like it's not like, will he down the line be challenging these players? No, he's already the same level as Grischuk and Geary and all these kind of players in Blitz or really fast internet chess. I mean, he won this Chess Bra event, I believe. So he's extremely strong over there already. The thing is, he's going to have to transition back into classical chess. And, Magnus has been playing classical chess forever. But this is a very important year for Firouzja, where he doesn't have any good tournaments. He's not going to be
Yes.
practicing classical chess for a very long time, not against anybody. And I'm a little bit worried what that's going to do for his classical growth. I don't have any doubts that he'll become, one of the best rapid blitz players in the world. Uh, but classical chess is a different beast, and he's going to have to be able to get back into that mindset. So will he be challenging for the world championship? I don't know. I mean, that's it will take a little bit of transition. The talent is there, the dedication is there, but it might be no fault of his own that there are no tournaments for him to play in, and that he's going to have to completely change his chess attitude at some point from being a blitz and rapid player to being a serious classical contender again. And it's a transition that's going to become much more natural to somebody like Fabi or Giri, that, you know, that's their profession and they grew up with it. Whereas Ferrugia is taking one of his very important formative years, playing blitz and rapid almost exclusively and doing great. So everything that's being rewarded in rapid and blitz is going to keep doing. And at some point, I think he's going to have to sit down and actually say, okay, enough of this. I need to focus back on playing proper classical chess.
Yeah, that's because the reason I started this conversation was because my personal concern was that probably that was also something that was working against him. I mean, all this super internet activity goes somewhere not along with the classical growth, you know.
Yeah. They're different beasts. I mean, obviously it helps. You can see a lot of players that grew up on ICC and, you know, the
Generation, yeah.
early chess servers, and they became really good because there was a lot of blitz online. But at some point, you know, you do have to make a little bit of a transition. So we'll see if he's able to do that. I mean, I have great expectations of somebody this talented. But, you know, still time will tell if he'll be able to really reach his full potential. There's a lot that goes into being a chess player more than, you know, talent and dedication. So I hope for the best, because he's a very exciting player. He's very sharp. He's incredibly tricky. I mean, watching this guy trick 2750s is really fun to watch. But as far as classical chess goes, he still will need to climb a hill when we regain our tournaments.
All right. All right. So we did have some questions from the chat. I thought
Sure.
maybe it would be a right moment, since we finished it with this wonderful game that actually ended up to the draw,
Yeah.
just to conclude about the game before we pass to the questions. Yeah, this is how it
Yeah.
ended. Yeah, funny enough. And this was a compromise from those both tricky, no, provocating each other, Peter Sweden and Magnus Carlsen.
Yeah.
All
No, that was a
right.
fascinating game.
Yeah, you do?
Yeah. I hadn't seen it actually. I was very happy I got to play through it.
All right. Okay, so we had a lot of questions. Here's one tricky one from Pepperoni Quest. What is the good age to retire from chess?
I mean, if
As
you're a
Kramnik.
competitive player, it's probably when you don't feel comfortable playing. I think I read this really nice autobiography by Vishy Anand, Mind Master, which is back there. And he was mentioning, you know, he obviously gets this asked a lot, kind of inappropriately. But he said that, you know, if he feels like he's not competitive at the top 10 anymore, then what's the point? Like, you can imagine, you know, Vishy has been top 10 since, you know, I have a memory, and not seeing him there would be weird. And I think it would be weird for himself. But if he feels that he can keep up playing against his top players, you know, for a while longer, and he's still enjoying it, then why not? It's a very personal decision. Unlike something like soccer, where you really do have, you know, a time limit on your body.
Absolutely.
Um, you know, you can pretty much do whatever you want in chess. I mean, you know, you can see Karpov play even some tournaments here and there. He'll play a Bundesliga game here and there. And nobody's like dying to see this new Karpov games, because this is the best chess game that Karpov has ever played. And he's much weaker than he used to be. But he still enjoys chess, so he plays it, and why not? Is he fully retired? I don't know. I mean, maybe he's not as competitive as he used to be, or he wants to explore different things, but he still plays once in a while, right?
Yeah, I think it's all every time it's all relative towards your own ambitions.
Yeah, you know, it's a very personal choice, but I don't think that chess has a normal or traditional retiring age. I think that we get kind of lucky on that sense, where we have more flexibility than other sports.
Right. Right. Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. All right. So, let me pick one more.
Mhm.
Oh my god, there's so many questions to you. Um, oh, this was a question to me. Building a wooden house masterclass. No, probably next time.
Did you build the house yourself? That makes sense, actually.
Sauna. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what it looks like. I was trying to figure out what it looked like. That's what it is.
Yes. There is also option 3 if you want to hear it.
And what's option 3?
Option 3 is a ski station somewhere in the mountains.
That also makes sense.
Yes.
So you're in a boat, a sauna, or in a ski station. Those are the 3 options.
Yeah, I should probably make a poll every time I stream.
Yeah.
Okay, do Alejandro has a pet opening line or a bad habit at the chessboard?
Oh man, I have a ton of bad habits. I'm like I have a ton of bad habits at the chessboard. Like I tell my students not to do these things, but I do them anyway. Like my calculation's a mess. Like I never calculate in a line like I'm supposed to do it. It's just
Oh,
a
so
huge
we're
mess.
relatives.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then my pet line has always been the Banco Gambit. I'm like one of the few grandmasters that actually plays it, but it's such bad opening. The problem is that it was fun when I used to play it, and then really strong engines came around, and they just destroyed it. And I'm like, I keep hopes here and there, and it's really fun to play in Blitz, but it's such a bad opening. Oh my god. So that's like my pet traditional line that if I know I can get away with it, I'll play it, but it's very risky to play at like the actual 2600 GM level.
Can you
I've gotten
show?
punished a few times.
Could you probably show us just a couple of moves?
Yeah, you guys actually know it as a different name. You guys call it like the Volga Gambit.
Oh right, so it does exist afterwards.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
As
Like
a
this one.
as a true opening, and you say
Yeah,
that this is
yeah,
a
yeah.
bad opening, right? So some of players should have been insulted right now, but okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think I remember that I knew it as the Banco Gambit since I was a kid because that's how we know it in the Western world. And every English-speaking country, I think, knows it as the Banco Gambit. And then I
Okay.
went to Russia and they were like, what on earth is the Banco Gambit?
I still didn't
Like,
know actually until a couple of months, honestly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like completely different names. A lot of openings actually have different names depending on where you are. There's
Yeah,
not a lot of those examples, but
like
this I think is the
Spanish.
most major one. Like these are called
Yeah.
completely different things.
Yeah, it took me some time to adapt to Rui Lopez because for me it was always Spanish, and Petrov,
Hmm.
which is actually Russian.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Russian game, we say. Okay.
Yeah, all those kind of things are like really funny. Like the Russian defense, it took. I was already a grandmaster when I learned that some people call it the Russian defense. I always thought everybody called it the Petrov, and there was no actual argument about this.
All right. So the probably the third question for now.
Mhm.
Um, what is your preferred opening with white?
With white, I'm really boring. I kind of changed it up, but I have this like I made some DVD on the Ready like a million years ago for chess base,
Yeah, yeah, I've
where you
seen
kind of
that.
when you kind of go like this. It's kind of a Catalan system, and it's really lazy, but it works really well. And I've been in some strong players in it, and I have good memories. I'm gonna go with that one.
Should work perfectly for Blitz, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really fun. You play knight f3, c4, b3, g3. They're all pre-moved. You don't actually have
Yes.
to think.
Yes. Absolutely.
And I actually had an issue where like somebody played d5, c4, and here it's like, uh, dc4 is a perfectly fine move, but it's just not popular. Everybody plays either c6 or d4 or e6 or whatever. So you can kind of safely pre-move b3. But some guy I played b3 and then he took and I played g3 and he took. I was like, wait a second, where did my pawns go? Because I pre-moved everything. I pre-moved knight f3, c4, b3, g3 as I usually do, and then all my pawns like left the board.
How can you do so? I mean, you know that the guy can theoretically take.
I was just looking at the like sometimes when you start a blitz game, you're looking at the other screen finishing something up, and you just kind of like pre-move on the other one, and then you focus to see what he actually responded to knight f3, c4, b3, g3. And then I realized there's a pawn on a2, and I was like, this pawn shouldn't be there.
Pretty funny. Yeah, at the time that I only started playing on chess.com, I always had these issues. Like I did some pre-moves, and then I wanted to put it back because I realized that actually the opponent is not forced to answer how I want. So I put it back, and actually it does the second pre-move, and I put it like again back, and does the third pre-move. While I think that I just cancel the pre-moves. You see?
Yeah, I think every server is different a little bit. I think on Lichess, you actually can only pre-move one move ahead. Either that or I haven't figured out the setting.
Yes, that's the thing. And then when you do the second time, it goes back. And I did the same
It
on
goes back.
chess.com.
Yeah, yeah,
And then it
yeah.
goes the second
It's
pre-move.
really
And then the
annoying.
third pre-move, I just lost my game immediately. All right. So, I might suggest something if you're still in the
Yeah, I have a few more minutes, I guess.
Okay, so yeah, I wanted to conclude with a little game that we could play together in case our viewers, our subscribers, of course, in this case, that we could play together. Probably that would be a little fun if you're in the right
Okay.
mood.
Okay.
Okay, so for those of you who are watching us, you can go send your challenges to my chess.account account, and we will pick up a random one, and we'll play together. Hand&Brain. How you say? What do you say, Alejandro? Hand&Brain. Does it sound to
Yeah,
you?
Hand&Brain. Oh man, this can go either very well or we'll never speak again. It's a very dangerous game.
Yes, and plus we've never played something like this before
Oh, you've never
together.
played?
No, you and me, we've never
Oh yeah,
played.
yeah. We've never played anything like this. Our coordination might be a little off. I
Yeah,
actually don't know too much about you as a chess player. I've seen you play, but I wouldn't know. I wouldn't say I know your style very well.
yeah. I've seen you sitting on the chair in the playing hall. That's what you want to say.
Yes, basically.
Yeah. Once per year, I see you sitting in the same playing hall as I do, and Gibraltar Open, and that's all, basically.
Yeah, basically that's how it works.
No, actually twice, because also there are some side events, like when
I'm never
you.
really sure if I'm playing in your team in the side event. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. It's very
Yeah,
confusing.
it depends if you have people um who can easily make you play for their team.
All right, so we're playing against.
Okay, so what I would like to ask you is that to go and observe my
Yeah, I can do that. I can follow your games.
yeah, it's you go with Dina Belenkaya. And does 5+5 unrated suit to you? Not too
Yeah, we'll
long,
play
not.
one game. I think I have enough time for that.
Otherwise, we can do 3+2.
Either one's fine. It's up to you.
Okay, 5+5, and we will pick a challenger randomly. You will actually pick. I will tell you. So for now, we have only one. So
That's good enough, right? That's all we
yeah.
need.
So for those of you who want to play against us, go send your challenges for subscribers only. Go send your challenges to my chess.com profile.
All right, and I think I'm following you, so I should be able to look at it.
Okay. So I have two for now. I have two. Any other willing to test your skills? Okay, I have the third one. I have the third one. I have the fourth one. Damn. Are you I have 5. Okay, there.
Oh man, I can hear them.
You can hear them. Okay. So let's do. I have 6. Okay, let's do it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. You choose the number.
5. 5 sounds like a great number.
5. Perfect. Accepted. We're playing against Pepperoni Quest. This is by far one of the strongest viewers
Oh man,
of
this guy's actually
mine.
good. 21-25.
So, do you see the game?
No, but I'll fix that.
Yeah, and we are playing with white. You can tell me already
All right, so I have the brain, right?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna leave this up to you. Pawn.
Yeah. Okay. E4.
All right, so we're an E4 player. We already got off on the wrong foot.
Yeah.
Pawn.
E4, D6. I don't know if you're there. If you found the game.
I'm familiar. Pawn.
Pawn, you're familiar. You played blindfold. Okay. Yes.
All right, let's see what he does. All right, I feel you're a very aggressive player, and that you also don't know this, so it should be fun. Let's go with pawn.
Did you see the move?
Yes?
You're following the game.
Yes, and I said pawn.
Yes. Pawn.
Also, I think you need to move your close one of the boards, because I think the viewers can see the A file.
Yes, you're right. You're so strong. You're so strong. Okay, so you said pawn. Let me do the pawn thing and let him think while I fix. Okay.
I think you just need to close the analysis board. That'll be it.
This. Oh, you're even stronger than I thought. No. Wow. You see, future streamer.
Also, we should probably not make 3 moves a minute. We should probably be a little bit faster.
Yes. Sorry for that.
All right, let's see. Our opponent's also very slow, so this is the slowest Blitz game I've played in a while.
Because
I think he got bored and left. He was like, who are these people?
He's not that used to playing Fabiano seconds, in the real life.
It's okay. I'm only making some random moves.
And Grandmasters in 15.
Aha. All right. Let's go with there's options. Let's go with knight.
Knight. Should be this one.
Could be. Could be the other one too. You never know.
Yeah, and I won't know. Here. I like our position. We are pretty solid. But was it F3 actually that you wanted to play?
Yeah, your C4's hanging. What else can you play?
Okay, but that doesn't make any sense. The move is the knight C3, no? The right move.
I mean, knight C3 is fine, but F3 is actually a move. I mean, it exists. It's not like
I
made this up on the fly.
All right.
Because now I can force you to play something you don't want. Because I'm going to say pawn, and you have... and now you have to play the D4 opening.
Okay.
No, that's such a bad move. Oh my god.
C3?
C4, just go forward. But that requires you to
C4.
be a D4 play. Okay, pawn. This one you actually do have to play now.
Okay, it's a classical King's Indian structure.
Yeah, now you know what's up.
Yeah, and you just have this bishop on E7 instead of G7, which probably a little more interesting for black, by the way.
It should be good for us. Okay, pawn. That one seems easy.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I don't think there was anything terrible with taking with the E pawn, but it's definitely not what I meant. So right now we're doing okay.
Yes, we have a space advantage and this C file probably for us soon.
1, 2, 3 of my moves, so it's pretty good.
Oh, 3 out of let me see. 3 out
of 6. I'm not counting the last one because it was kind of forced capture.
Okay, 3 out of 6. Yeah.
Yeah, 50%.
So far, so good.
It's not great, but we'll take it.
Yeah, I think it's for the you have A, B, C grades. Yeah, in the school for C grade should be fine, no?
Yeah. Is that our aim in life to be a C grade partnership?
Knight or bishop? Okay, bishop.
There you go.
Bishop. Yeah, C rate.
A C rate. This is what we have for you viewers. We have a C rate friendship playing chess right now.
I'm pretty proud of this one because my marks at school were not that high.
You're a C grade student. Is that what you're saying?
Sometimes even D. Okay,
wow.
bishop or pawn?
Wow, I don't get to say knight. See, this is not how this game works. You can't
this
tell
is
me
what I want.
what my options are. I'm the brain here.
This is what I wanted to suggest. I don't know why I said bishop. I wanted to say knight. It happens like sometimes.
All right, now our opponent's gonna try to do something mean to us.
Thanks for following, by the way.
Ooh, the bishop. Actually, the move was queen, not knight. But I'll do queen anyway here.
Okay. Better late than never.
Yeah, this is kind of one of those interesting points at in okay, queen of course.
I wanted to do a pre-move
In Hand and Brain, because I also was tempted to say bishop for bishop f2, but there's a risk that you take on g5. So I don't know if I want to take the risk.
Oh yes, because you being the brain, you should calculate in advance, even more than just a chess player, one chess player. You have to work for two at the same time.
Yeah, this one is tough, but I'll get there. I'll get there.
Okay.
Promise.
Yeah, I'm trusting you.
Ooh, very tempted.
Okay, he's thinking.
All right, let's see what our opponent wants, because this is the slowest pepperoni quest I've ever met in my life. Not that I've met a lot of pepperoni quests.
Yeah, this is a true one. I can tell you. I know him.
Oh yeah, you know him?
Say again?
You know this fan?
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Friend of mine.
All right. I can't explain the position, because explaining the position would help you come up with my moves. So I'm just gonna like think quietly.
Okay.
You know, one of the funniest Hand and Brain sessions we had was when the production team that works here at the St. Louis Chess Club was doing the hand. So, and they're rated, they're all rated between, a solid 300 to 500. They know how to move the pieces, and that's pretty much their level of chess. And the brain was like MVL and Fabi.
I think I have seen some photos of those, no? Haven't I?
Yeah. Those are like hilarious Hand and Brains. It's like nothing works, all the pieces are hanging. But it's always a good time. I'm gonna go with king.
King, okay. But I'm pretty sure that the team was very happy about that experience.
They had a great time. I mean, they're pretty used to us. We like to unwind with them. They're such a cool crowd. They make all of our lives so much easier, and they put up with us. And they've been doing this for years. A lot of our production would have never happened if they didn't have the experience. So, I mean, we're really thankful to them. And they're all really cool people, so we like hanging out with them. Maybe not during tournaments. I see what my opponent wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going to play a pawn. I'm going to see if you pick right.
This one?
Ah! Wonderful. This Russian School of Chess.
Yes, I'm so proud of myself.
All right, pawn again.
Yes, sure, this one.
Yes.
You need to restrict the knights coming to f4 and
h. Ooh. No. This cannot be correct. I'll do pawn.
Okay.
No. Now we punish.
Punish.
Now we punish.
Being cruel.
You can't make all these knight moves and then open the position.
Yeah, true. You need to castle at some point.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. Yeah, it's very hard to I mean, I haven't seen many broadcasts that could make concurrence to yours.
Yeah, we were very proud of the production that goes into it. Pawn, by the way.
Yes.
Because it really is a lot of effort, and a lot of it isn't seen by the public on how much effort we go and really put into all these things. And I'm actually excited because the Chess Club has an event coming up either this week or next week with some of the best players from America. That should be a lot of fun. We have a direct win. Guess not. Knight it is.
Knight, right?
Yeah.
Are there some official announcements already, or it's?
Yeah, actually, it's a great time to plug it. But I think we have something called Clutch Chess. It's some idea by Maurice Ashley.
Okay.
And he's going to be doing the commentary with Jennifer and with Yasser, so you get to see Yasser back in action. And it should be a whole lot of fun. It's just a bunch of Rapid and Blitz. It's Hikaru, it's Lanier, it's Fabi, it's Wesley. So you'll get a lot of the usual faces battling it out. I'm going to go with Knight. I don't know if that works. I was
will you be
telling a
there?
story. I'm not doing that commentary, but maybe something in the future I'll be able to be part of. But we have a lot of events planned, and hopefully they materialize. Because right now there's a big void. I don't think we're gonna have any tournaments until late this year. I think the
Right.
feed is a little hopeful of the candidates, but that's still a while away, and we have to like do something in the meantime, especially with the Grand Chess Tour sadly cancelled.
You don't
Uh,
believe in autumn reborn?
I
Rebirth?
mean, we hope, but that's more hope than logical thinking, in my opinion. Let's go with night.
Night. Alright, here there's a choice, and I don't like when there is a choice because I'm very bad at taking decisions.
Nah, this is your choice. This is not my choice.
Sure, I need to hesitate for
I,
a while.
I've done my work. I said night. That's all I had to do.
Yes, you're the lucky one. Both are tempting, by the way.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have so much temptation in life, but you have to pick one.
Yeah, it's like life worth decisions. Actually, I was told that when you have a piece in your camp, in your side, it's better to kick it or change it. This on d5 knight is not in our camp, but it wants to go there. So I would like to push it back.
Mm. What do you take on d6, by the way?
Okay.
All right, now let's see. Now we have a lot more options.
Right.
Kind of tempted to do it this way, but let's keep it simple. Let's do rook.
This is pretty simple. Thank you.
This one is simple, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta just make the good move. Don't flag. Ooh, you didn't flag. You made it with 0.6 seconds. You even scared me. All right. Now what do we do? Do we go fancy like that? I mean, I could go fancy. Let's go bishop.
Bishop.
Yes.
How about some development over here?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Oh, our opponent is escaping.
Yes, I was worried about this one, but it seems like
that's fine.
you were
Let's bring all the
expecting
pieces in.
him.
It's the rook.
It's the rook. So the only, or not the only, but the open file we have, we should double the rooks here.
I would hope so. Oh man. Is there no win? There's no win.
I'm not sure.
Kind of want to. Let's play this move because you never know. Our opponents might blunder. So let's do bishop.
Okay, let him blunder.
Let him see what he goes. Right.
Yeah.
All right. It's a pity that doesn't work. But let's go. Do we have to go so traditional? I guess sometimes traditional is best, right?
Yes, I see what you mean.
Yeah, let's just do rook. I don't feel sorry for this move. Like, there's
it's
something
okay. It's
fancier,
okay.
like
We do not have to kill directly immediately. We can also make him suffer a little.
Queen.
And I take.
Yes. And now we think.
Now we show our how we say it, skills.
Yeah. Slowly. Kill us softly and slowly. All right, let's do pawn. Pawn. Don't flag.
Yes. Pawn. This one.
Yeah.
It's not contribute. It's not complete. It's convert. Yeah.
Convert. That's what we're looking for. Yeah.
Convertial skills.
There you
go.
Queen.
Yes.
Now you have choices. Wow, you didn't even think about that.
What did you mean? What did you mean? Pawn? What did you want me to play?
No, it was a great move, but I was wondering if Queen d6 deserved some attention. You're like, nah. Now, do we take the knight or do we make him suffer? Nah, we take the knight. Bishop.
Bishop with the bishop? This is making suffer. Making... yeah.
No, I was thinking about how to do it, but I couldn't figure it out. Man, pawn. Yeah, why not?
This one.
Yeah.
Why not?
Our opponent will have threats at some point, you know?
Yes, he will. He does. No.
All right. Now we're gonna give you choices. Queen. And don't flag.
Okay, don't flag, don't flag, don't flag. This
Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, queen.
and this.
That is actually a bad move.
That is actually.
Let's see. King. No choices. Well, let's see how many checks my opponent has.
It has some.
Because now it's the fun part for me because he's gonna give a check. I'm gonna say king, and you have to figure it out. It's not my problem anymore. King.
Here.
Wow, this girl going forward.
I'm not afraid.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I'll take on g5. Anything but queen takes g5.
Yes.
No, not that move.
Okay, I have the
Queen.
move. I have the move. I have the move. I have the right move.
Yeah. King.
Sure. Why not?
Bishop.
Yes.
Okay, now it's important. We cannot let him sacrifice this bishop.
Oh, that would be funny, by the way. Oh no!
No, he
Why? You resign. Yeah, that would be. I would like to test my knight and bishop mating capacities.
Have you ever done it? Like, have you ever had it in the game?
Yes, by the way, I might remind you, it was in the actually in that situation that you could have observed theoretically me sitting on the chair for 8 hours. It was around number 5, I guess, when you were.
I was gone. I had dinner.
Yes. You had dinner with. It was Battle of the Sexes evening on Gibraltar Chess Festival.
Oh, that night? Oh,
Yes,
that's funny.
that
Yeah,
night
was
I had
already
a.
busy.
I was actually defending Bishop and the Knight for 8 hours, and he checkmated me on the move 47. Can you imagine?
I like how you say you were defending bishop and knight, like you were actually doing something. You were just hoping not to get mated.
But I was
For
doing
2
great,
hours.
and you also need to know because I saw he missed like couple of times. He already put me into the opposite corner, and then you just need to put the king into the right one. So it's like
Right.
the technical part, and I saw
Yeah,
it,
like
and
a
he didn't
doubly
do
with the
it.
knight.
Yeah. He didn't do it, and then I got back to the center, and I'm pretty sure that I have some rumors. I'm pretty sure that I could have found the way to last
Like if you
3
played
more moves.
perfectly, it would have
Yeah,
cost 50. Oh wow,
yeah.
that's sad.
And actually, the thing is that I was playing a lower rated player, and then I thought I was winning. Then I did some I don't know what, and I blundered the piece. I was completely losing with a piece down and maybe pawn or two, and then I found the way how to sacrifice my bishop against all his pawns, and then he got into this position.
Isn't that like the worst feeling when you're like playing somebody and you want to resign so many times, but they keep messing your win
Yes,
up?
exactly. I
And they
wanted to
win anyway. They
resign.
win anyway at the end. But it's kind of like, why? Why did I have to go through this?
And the worst thing
Like,
is that I had a place in the team, in Antonetta's team for the Battle of the
yeah.
Sexes. Had my place, and it was like waiting for me. And then when I finished, the show was already over. When I finished the
You know,
game.
yeah, you missed when we blundered a queen on move 6 against the girls.
Exactly. Yeah, I was so sad. Like it didn't. I mean, suffering so long and absolutely pointless afterwards.
No, it's the worst feeling.
Yeah.
All right, Dina, I think I'm gonna head out.
Sure. Sure.
But thanks
Thank
for
you.
inviting me to the show. It was really fun.
Thank you, Alejandro, for accepting my invitation and coming here today to joining us in the studio. That's the phrase that I learned from you guys.
Yeah, there you go. Now everybody has their own studio, their own house, right?
Yes.
Or
Both.
cabin or boat or sun or whatever it is you're in.
So, ladies and gentlemen, here was Alejandro Ramirez from United States of America with us. Grandmaster at the age of 15, the first Central American Grandmaster of all time. Thank you so much for joining us. That was such a great experience for me and for everyone.
No, pleasure. All right, I'll see you guys around.
Bye-bye. Okay, I need to close this one. Yeah, I closed it. I closed it. Okay, everyone. here we are, back with Dina again. Only Dina. Let me show you myself. This. Yeah, just couple more things, then I'm back. Camera. Let me add my camera. This one. Okay. No. Yes. Okay. So, yes, here was Alejandro Ramirez, as I told you, who kindly accepted our invitation and came to for the show. I hope you had enjoyed this one. And yeah, probably you might still have some questions, don't you? I would be happy to answer to those of them that I can. How did you find the guest? How did you find the show? Terrific interview. Terrific being good or being good. I wanted to thank you for your donations and your for all those of you who had just followed, yeah, and your subscriptions. That was very, very nice of you. I'm sorry in advance that I mean, now it's not in advance anymore, but we didn't interact that much with the chat for some obvious reasons. I hope you you could understand that it was not a problem for you. We did still pick up some of your questions, so if you have more of those that we probably missed, go ahead, you can ask them now. Yes, you might have seen that the little tiny issues that we had in the beginning with my internet connection, but in the end that seemed to work, and I'm pretty happy for that. Probably that was because of that nice little donation that I've received that blessed my stream, and I got it all set up. What's next in the show? I will go live again on Thursday, probably. Thursday, I will have a match with another female streamer, very strong chess player, and that's gonna be an interesting match. There might be some extra conditions for that one. I'm not telling you the name of the opponent yet because I like all this kind of suspense and everything. As you know me already, you know me good, I think. Yes, and then I will go with yet another stream this week on Saturday, which will for sure be a simultaneous game, as I did previously. I will try to stick to once per week or twice per week simultaneous games against subscribers, as you know, for now. That will be also another event that I will go live. So this is the problem. This is the program so far for this week. Thanks for your kind feedbacks. No spoilers. Yes, I like keeping you in suspense. Actually, that's pretty much my my style, I should say. I have to say that I learned a lot from Alejandro, actually, from his perspective. It's always very, very interesting to have someone such a, like we say, in a world. I mean, it's another chess world for sure. To me, probably to you as well, and it's always interesting to get those insights of those big guys, what they have in mind, how they see chess, how they analyze the situations and all. Although Alejandro seems to be pretty down to earth guy comparing to some other great chess players of our time and the previous time as well. Yes. Nice to be meeting you. Nice to be meeting you too. Who will be the next surprise guest? Yeah, I actually have already another guest who will for sure come to the special show, special guest show, Grandmasters Insights or Grandmaster Inside. That will be a male Grandmaster. Yes, that will be next week, probably next Monday, but still needs to be confirmed. Yes, again, suspense for like doing that. No, probably not Neo. Probably that will not be Valerie for the next week, but maybe soon. Who knows? We should ask Valerie. That would be a nice idea. That would make a lot of fun. I see you guys. Making some new acquaintance here. That's very nice. I'm gonna try some more comment in the chat. Okay. Yeah, this chat is not about me anymore. I see that. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. I like my viewers being occupied. That's a good thing. Yeah, I should probably finish soon. So, as I told you, maybe last questions you have that I did not come up with the answer. Will there be games with followers, Dr. Timofey? No, unfortunately, I've decided to change kind of my business strategy. Let us call it so. Yeah, I will stick to prioritizing subscribers. Starting from this week, I will prioritize subscribers, and when I play against you, that will be for subscribers mostly. But that's yet one more reason for you to subscribe. Why not? As I already told you, announcements of my future shows shall be found at my social media, which is my Instagram account. You can try the command Instagram. Yeah, and get the link. I always post the information about when I go live, so that would be nice stuff. Yeah, hi everyone. Just about to finish the show. You can also check the Discord things as well. Discord says also announcements and everything, so go ahead with both of those. Right. Where were the questions? Where am I? This is not a question. Do we still need Dina? This is the pool you did. Okay. Okay. Well, if you don't, then I should probably leave here for today, right? I should. Did I do all the protocol stuff? I told you when I go live. I told you that I thank you. I told you that I told you when I go back live. I told you that where you can find me, that I thank you all, that I thank Alejandro. Did I miss something? I read your questions so far. When we will see your chess skills, Asya. That's a good thing. That's also a good thing. I think we will. We will, sure. Asya is very talented. She cannot accept this thing, but it is true. Thank you for following, Chicken Lover. That's very, very nice of you. Yes, protocol stuff. I have this plan, you know, for every stream of mine that I need to remember what I do, how I do, and when I do, to keep myself organized. Maybe on Thursday. On Thursday for sure. Usually I kept on streaming for Title Tuesday, which is tomorrow. But the thing is that I've been streaming for every single day since the last week, I guess. I had only one day pause. Yes. So I will probably not stream tomorrow's Title Tuesday, but we'll play it for sure. That's why I go on Thursday with my next live stream, which will be the match. Chicken Lover, you have a question. You stopped playing chess 5 years ago and started again with tactics. What should you train to follow up? About tactics, there are some things that I actually suggest to my students and to people who just ask me about this. The easiest thing to do is Valerie, by the way, would agree with me. The easiest thing to do is to make Puzzle Rush. To make it your daily routine, to make 5 minutes Puzzle Rush. You do, for example, you start with 5 attempts per day, which takes you 25 minutes. 5 multiplied by 5, yeah, 25, 30 minutes. You start with 30 minutes of tactics by day, and then if you see that it's okay with your daily routine, you can do more. Then you go to 10 per day, and then you finish like Valerie, 15 per day, right? This is the advice he actually gave me. But it's when we talk about tactics, the most important thing is to do it every day. Even if you do it little tactics, it's important to do it every day. I hope I answered your questions. Thank you very much for cheering, CGRE. Not sure how to pronounce. Thank you very much for your cheers. 300 bits. There are 5 multiplied by 5, 25, but actually 30 come from... Yeah, because when you have those transitions, when you hesitate or drink, or like I do now, drink. Wow. Thanks, I was... Thank you for... Dear G, I really need to know how to learn how to pronounce for cheering 500 bits. Yeah, you'll drink to that. That's just... All right. Do you really describe yourself as a high-level athlete? Of course I do, and that's what every chess player should. Yeah. That's what we are. That's what Alejandro is. That's what other guests of mine that you have seen during the last streams you have seen. Of course we are. All right. I saw pretty nice suggestion of yours. After Botez life, we expect a life bell or bell life. Maybe I should talk to my sister about this. Why not? Why not, Asya? What do you say? In the meantime, I will probably find you a good host for the next for your next stream. My plan, of course, all chess players, athletes. I have to prepare mentally, physically, and the last set of chess. You say yes to everything. All right. That's a good approach. That's a good one. Okay. Quick question. How do I determine a specific theme in given opening? What kind of weaknesses do I look for? What color complex? How do you come up with the reasonable plan to execute? All right, so Dr. Dr. Pitzel. This question is not a quick question. This question this question I forgot how to say it. This question provokes a very long answer, so I will not be in the right position to answer to it today, but for sure go ahead and ask me it in my next stream, and I will spend some time explaining you in a correct way how I could do that next time, sure. All right, thanks for following, Nikki. Where would you go today? I want to send you somewhere in a very nice place. As always, I like keeping secrets, so I hope you will like it. And I like testing new stuff, right? So, as I told you, see you on Thursday. Bye bye.